he could see it. People are afraid of really being close and intimate
Uh-huh.
because, I mean, I understand that. People are afraid of being hurt. The closer you get to another person, the more your heart is vulnerable and open to being hurt. And yet, to hold back for fear is to miss out on the best part of life, loving connection.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
I think we know that the deeper you love someone, when circumstances change and that loved one is taken from you for some reason,
Yeah.
and, we all die, so far we all die, somebody's left, and somebody's left with that
Yeah.
horrible heartbreak.
Yeah.
But why would you give up a whole lifetime of joy that
And
f to avoid that heartbreak?
I
And I think so many people do. So many
I
people do.
I have to be really honest here and share my deepest vulnerability.
Mhm.
It's Joyce dying before me.
Mhm.
That's my deepest vulnerability.
Mhm.
Because now that I know how deeply I need her love, for her to die with before me, it's really gives me the feeling of being like a lost child
Mhm.
all alone on earth. Even though I also have the divine part and the spiritual part that knows, of course, we'll always be together. If she dies first, she'll stay in touch with me and I'll stay in touch with her. But the human part, the part of me that is frail and vulnerable, feels that.
Yeah. I know. I have friends and relatives that are in that process right now, that
Yeah.
grieving their spouse. And I mean, my mother died before my father did, and never in a million years did we ever expect that. We always knew that dad was going to go first. And it was just because of h- the heart disease in his family and that kind of thing. And so, we
Yeah.
just kind of attributed to. But my
Right.
mom died, and I thought my dad was gonna go right away, but he didn't. He found something that caused him to want to be alive, and he lived another, 8 years. So there is something beyond that too, but it's hard to just talk about. You have to kinda move through it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we're living really in two dimensions. I mean, there's two really big parts of us. There is the spiritual part, which we understand, right? And we
Mhm.
believe, we have faith and we trust. But there is the human part. And often that's connected with the little child, right?
Mhm.
Have to, we can't ignore that. We
Mhm.
can't ignore that.
No, we can't. It is really important. And, we're talking about how sometimes our spirituality can mask our arrogance. You are we can do that and say, "Well, I'm beyond that," "We're all spiritual. We're all spiritual. So, of course, I can handle that," or, "Of course, I can handle this." And the human doesn't matter. And I think what you're saying is so important,
Yeah.
because the human aspect of life, the rawness of emotions, the heartbreak, the joys, the enormous suffering and sadness, everything that we experience here, all of it, all of that human stuff, it's so important. We can't rise above that and get more spiritual.
It's called spiritual bypass. I
It
know.
is it is, and it's a virus. It's going around.
It is. And if there's anything we're trying to heal, it's that virus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Allow people to not just be from here up, right?
Mhm,
To
mhm.
also feel all of themselves and
Mhm.
embrace every part of themselves.